Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani paschyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. So, in our exploration through satsang, we have been listening and contemplating on some fundamental concepts in the science of Vedanta, and it changes the way we look at three fundamental entities, which is the self, the world, and God. These are the three fundamental questions, these are the three fundamental realities of our existence, and we are continuing our quest. In the previous satsangs, we established that there is an essential unity between Atman and Brahman, Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam. There is an intrinsic connection between Jivatma, which is the Atma within this body-mind complex, and Paramatma, which appears to be the macro being and the macro consciousness, which is known as God. There is an essential unity, and we also understood in just the last satsang that due to the operation of ignorance at the level of Jivatma, which is known as Avidya, and due to the operation of the same cosmic ignorance operating at the level of the whole cosmos, which is known as Maya, with our limited faculty, through this medium, there is a basic aberration or anomaly in perception of our own self, and hence we, who are the original, absolute, ultimate consciousness, experience ourselves as reflected micro consciousness packages. If someone tells us, you can resolve this problem, after all you are conscious, this rock cannot solve your problem because it is matter, you are conscious. We are reminded of an adjective called consciousness, and we say, yes, yes, let me think about it. But Vedanta is reminding us that our consciousness is not an objective, it is like a noun. It is an entity, and we are that. It is existence with a capital E, bliss with a capital B, and consciousness with a capital C. It is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam means I am the truth. This consciousness is me. And what is truth? Truth is that which abides in all states of time, past, present, and future. So this body may go away, but I will not die. I am eternal. Hence I am Brahman. Because not my body as such, but the consciousness that I am is Brahman. Satyam. Absolute existence, absolute knowledge, and absolute infinite spread cannot be limited by time, space, or any other qualification. It can be qualified, but it cannot be limited forever. If that is me, we understood, yet we feel, what are you talking about? This feels so brand new. After all, I don't understand Sanskrit. After all, I am dependent upon language. But our Shastra has said, and our Shastra teachers have said, Sanskrit is very open and very important to learn for self-realization, but it cannot stop you from self-realization. Because the one thing that is most intimate to you is yourself. And even an illiterate, deaf and dumb and blind can self-realize. What does Sanskrit do? What does satsung do? What does the knowledge of Vedanta do? What does Ayurveda and Yoga do? All of this brings us closer and closer to asking the right question. Merely that. We ask so many questions and we get distracted. Then if we don't find adequate answers, we feel disillusioned. Then emerge secondary emotions. But the right question is, who am I? What is the nature of this world? What is my relationship with it? And is there a God? And how do I connect with this God? Is it not so? Every person in every religion speaking any language has said these questions. Am I correct? Even the primitive human being, when the human body mind was still evolving, the Australopithecus, Ramapithecus, even that Paleolithic caveman might have looked at the starry universe and the sacred universe that came alive in their experience and wondered, who am I? What is my relationship with this canvas? And is there something that connects us both and is beyond us? And yet feels so intimately alive within me? That language we can never decode. That language is beyond speech, beyond intellect, beyond mind, beyond culture. It is experiential. So, why did we not forget, and why do we have to be reminded? It is because of avidya, this Maya. And that is why in Vedanta, the waking up of the student is considered not a Herculean task, but somewhat of a understood position, because what someone is, it is easy to show them. You are that. But we understood also that through this knowledge, we will get two kinds of relief. I mentioned this, I will just quickly review it to go into the topic of karma today. We were told we will get two kinds of relief as we know our true, powerful self. I am not qualified and limited by any quality. If I had thought that I am a very powerless person, this is just my luxury to think that, because no quality can define my true Chaitanya nature. In fact, when I want to play with power, I will find it within me. I think that I cannot play music. It might be so. Even some genes have been found which are pro-music and anti-music. But no bunch of matter can ultimately define Satchit Ananda that I am. And when I put my attention to it and I go into a state of yoga with the music, and I, the knower, the knowledge and the process of knowing become one through sheer focus, I will have mastery on this music. There's no limitation. So the book of miracles and the book of human, human miracles and human extraordinary accomplishments, and right? Those books are considered freak. We should all read them. That if this person could do it, where did that, after all we are made of the same substance, but the only thing is that we thought we could do this, this person did not bother with that thought. The day you decide I will become a master in Sanskrit, I am telling you, the whole universe will orchestrate itself to make you the master. Take the decision. No, first only, well, you see, I have 2 jobs and actually I'm a mom and then actually I will sleep. We first come with reasons, so therefore Sanskrit, the goddess of Sanskrit says, I'll wait. When you call me with love, I will come. I come to you because you are the master of the universe. Everything will come to you because you are that. I am very small. You are the ultimate bigness. But we forgot and we were told we are very small. We have to appease everyone. We are broken. And so through Avidya we got lost. And we started thinking, I'll fill myself up with more objects, more relationships, more power. But it all went away because in Maya nothing stays. And then one day we collapsed. And the teacher did not even give me any counseling. And the teacher just became silent. Because of my silence, I felt silent. And then suddenly I felt okay. Whereforth that okayness came from, my dear? From within you. Because you are always okay. With a capital O. So, what is the Jnana Shruti? What is the benefit of this satsang? Many of you have been sending me emails, or I can sense how you're contemplating, how you're thinking in your life. Well, there is the Jivana Mukti, or the liberation while living, and in short, we concluded that while you are living, you will feel a couple of things. You will feel purnatvam, you will feel full, wholeness. You will not feel like, this constant anxiety, this constant pain of separation from you don't know what. You'll feel wholeness, and it's very wonderful. Then you will feel samatvam, you'll feel balanced. Like the life's ups and downs will not destroy you. You should be able to be like a cosmic sponge absorbing everything. It will feel very small. In the past, what would elicit a lot of temper and drama from you will just elicit a raised eyebrow from you. Samatva. And swatantrataha. You will experience a sense of independence. Why independence? Because when there is no one else but you, you begin to take decisions, you begin to play, you begin to shift things around. You respect society, you have deep value for norms, because that's what people have done in Maya to bring some sanity to the chaos. But you're kind of bound, but you know that it's not really binding you. Independence. So Purnatvam, Samatvam, balanced mind. A state of balanced mind. And the state of an independent mind. Independent. These people will be independent. Everybody else is dependent. Independent. So billions will look to them and they look nowhere except with compassion. Even if billions don't look to them, billions can look to them, but they are not looking at them. So this is in life, but yet it is said that Videha Mukti, or complete freedom from obligation to be put back into another mother's womb in any of the lokas, is still not removed, because in the past life we may have had some desires and created certain samskaras or patterns or impressions to fulfill them. And as a result, no matter how much one is uplifted in one's own consciousness, one doesn't become fully free from the cycle of birth and death. And though the next birth may be so alleviated, yet a birth it is. And any birth brings with it the obligations to have a body. You know, we have micro body, parasite body, worm body, insect body, animal body, aquatic body, plant body, fungal body, right? Fungus has body, human body. Can you not have a deva body, a superior human body? You can. In fact, the very healthy people are like godly bodies. Don't you think so? Even in the human body, you can see some transition. Do you agree? And then there is even a Devic body. In other lokas, you can be born. If you can be born on this loka, you are traveling in between stops, so you can be born somewhere else. And you can have a very superior, glorious Deva body. But a body it is. So ultimately, we want Viddeha Mukti, we want to be free of the obligation to have a mother, a womb, a body. And as soon as the consciousness is body bound, we have had many satsangs about this, and if you are new, you can go to our YouTube and catch up on the previous ones. But Videha Mukti is complete moksha. That is moksha. Freedom from the big cycles of life and death and the small cycles of sorrow and joy. This freedom can be achieved only by carefully understanding from the teacher the law of karma as explained by Advaita Vedanta science, and then living according to its principles, so that gradually, we Indians say gradually, but I just corrected myself and said gradually. So gradually, we have to act in such a way in the world that karma phalam is not created. So what is karma? Karma is a basic principle that as we act in exact matching, there will be some kind of fruit that we have to enjoy. Now it may be a bitter fruit. We are asked to smile and gulp it down. And it may be a sweet fruit, and at that time we just smile. People say, stop grinning. I am feeling so lucky today. Often some fruit from some past life has come to us. Are you understanding? So every action has a fruit of experience that we will have to, by obligation, undergo. Couple of things to this principle. We are free to act. When you are about to act in a positive way, a negative way, or a mixed way, nobody can really stop you. Somebody can take the gun from you so that you don't kill another person, but you can still strangle them. You can still think thoughts of killing every day, right? Nobody can really come in and put a prohibition on your actions, thought, speech and actions. Nobody. We have amazing freedom to act. But in this Maya-ridden world, when Brahman, Atman becomes Jivatma and gets bound by Maya and Avidya, something happens. And please understand, when the fish wants to get out of the fish tank, it has to understand how the fish tank works. The fish tank is full of Maya water. In Maya water, you can act. But that act will set off a bubble. That bubble will catch some kind of, from non-tangible to tangibility, and it will convert into some kind of tangible, sorrow-giving or joy-giving experience. Dukkha Sukha Anubhava. The sub-point is that when that bubble will come back to us, we cannot predict. This is not in our hands. We just have a lot of freedom to act, we humans. And do we use it to health? We are doing good things like there is no tomorrow, and we are doing bad things like there is no tomorrow, and we are taking mixed stands all the time also. Yes? So what happens is that there will be some coming back. Because the timing of the coming back of the experience is not fixed, and it may come back in this lifetime, but it may come back in some future lifetime as it matures. Hence the obligation to take another birth, because if some experiences have to come to you, you'll have to be present in a body, in a species, in a plane of existence to receive it. It shall find you, good or bad. It's not always bad. Karma is not bad. That's what it is. So, the key in Advaita Vedanta is to live in this world, take actions, because you can't just say, okay, I'm not wanting to create any more bubbles, so I'll just stop breathing. And some people did that. They just took off and said, I don't want to be part of the world because I'll create karma. I won't love my child, I'll create karma. I won't do this, I'll create karma. No. You have to create karma. You'll have to, because every ant is functioning, every tree is functioning. You have to function, you have to act, but there is a way to act that will not set off these bubbles in the Maya ocean. Are you interested to know about it? Yeah. Okay. So if you are interested, and I'm interested to tell you, then we have a satsang. So principle number, I have given you basic law of karma, that every action will have an equal experience coming back to us, and we are obliged to experience it. Now the law of karma, the first principle is that every action we take will create some kind of an invisible, I have to use Sanskrit words now, punyam and papam. Can you say punyam?
Punya.
Papam?
Papam.
Or punya and pap? Can you say that? Punya, papam. Okay. What is punya, papam is? Punya means good. Papam means sinful. And sin or actions that go against goodness. Okay? Now, every deliberate or willful action that we do, including your deliberate choice to be a student in this moment now, and my deliberate choice to be a teacher in this moment now, every action will have an invisible reaction attached to it, and this invisible is like a good or a bad result. Okay? And it will also have a visible good or bad result attached to it. For example, if somebody plants a mango tree, a big large tree, any tree actually, a banyan tree, big tree, shady tree. Okay? And it grows, and he nurtures it, he or she. And the immediate result is that the travelers, the weary travelers will come, they will rest there and they will leave, and it will be very satisfying. This is the visible result which is positive. Somebody may even leave a donation for the tree. Somebody may leave some food under the tree for this person. Visible results. But that planting of the tree did not end it with the tree becoming whatever it led to visibly in this lifetime. The tree led to a tree farm, the tree farm led to a tree foundation, the tree foundation led to horticultural college, the horticultural college led to, save the forest movement, all that is visible. Good, great. Or the tree just led to a swing being hung there and children enjoying themselves. Visible, punyam, positive result. However, when this action was done, there is also an invisible quota that is now activated. This invisible quota will come back in equal punyam, positive experience, either in the future, which you cannot relate. You cannot relate why you're having this positive experience because you planted a tree 2 years ago. You can't relate, or it may come back in some other lifetime. So, the principle number 1, to every deliberate and willful action, the Shastras say there is a good or a bad visible result attached and a good or a bad invisible result attached. The visible is called, for Sanskrit lovers here, drishtaha, and for the invisible part, it is called adrishtaha. The good is called punyam, the sinful or the hurtful is called papam. Let's look at an opposite. Somebody is in a company and they know all about the stock trading secrets. And they know the inside numbers. And they use it to their advantage to buy the stocks ahead of time or sell the stocks ahead of time. And they are so smart and so lucky from planting the tree some other time, that they don't really get caught. The visible result that we see is that this person is very rich. They have a lifestyle. They own their own, fleet of cars. They have a wonderful farm and a getaway island. Fine. That's the visible result that we can see because of that action. But an invisible result will be coming forward. I leave it up to your judgment what kind it will be. So everything, sometimes you may have an immediate visible result which may be not in correspondence with the action done, but the invisible result which comes back later will be in correspondence with the quality of the action. Are you following? So this, and in a way, brings us to the next principle as to which kind of returning fruit is, how do we judge which is a good action, which is a bad action? That's the next point. So, the knowledge of dharma is very important. And dharma in Vedanta is not Hindu dharma, sorry. It's not so limited. It is universal dharma. So, for example, compassion, forgiveness, the higher qualities, right? They would be expected of us. non-violence. These kind of things would be expected of us. Forgiveness would be expected of us. Kindness would be expected of us. So the Shastra or our scriptures gave a dharma to follow, a code of conduct. And they even say things like, if you're, at least once a year you should remember your ancestors, if nothing else to be grateful. The wife should look after the husband should look after the wife, the family should look after the child, the family should look after the sages and the teachers in the Gurukul, the teacher should be like a parent to the students should look up as a fatherly, motherly way to the teacher, and all these rules of dharma are prescribed. Teacher's dharma, student's dharma, wife's dharma, husband's dharma, neighbor's dharma, butcher's dharma. What is that? An ideal or an expected code of conduct from someone who knows I am Brahman. Someone who knows I am Brahman. How will that person behave with their neighbor? See? So they may be moral, but they are also universal. They are not limited by any religion as such. That is one, to not violate the codes of dharma. So when my students finally graduate from here, and my last teaching of them would be the Vaidya Dharma. And the day I have taught it to them, it has been taught. The universe has orchestrated for them to learn it today. And after that, they are expected to walk on it. That is why I don't teach it in the beginning, very quickly, because they will default. So once the dharma has been conveyed, for example, a student's dharma. A student's dharma is to look at the teacher as parental figure. To look at the teacher in any other way is now what? Papa karma. For the teacher to exploit the student financially or any way is what? Papa karma. Vaidya is asked, you please take care of the suffering. You have to have more compassion. You. So if the Vaidya becomes a very money-driven, hardcore person, and today's modern management, you take any class, it teaches you how to have those strict, thorny, cactus-like policies and boundaries and show them their place, right? But Dharma says, you are Atman first, doctor later. And how will you behave with this more of you coming in a suffering way? So therefore, violation of dharma is papa karma, and I wanted to explain to you, if you don't know dharma, don't panic. The highest human nature is dharma. Just think like that. And then the question is, but what about where dharma has not been clarified? What about those mixed positions? No problem. Then it says, what is your sankalpa? What is your motivation? For example, non-violence is a high dharmic value, but the butcher, it has to do the butchering to feed its family and to give wonderful meat products for those who need healthy physical body, for whom their Ayurvedic Vaidya has said, you need to eat goat meat. They need to go to a butcher to find a goat meat, and the goat is not being killed just for out of violence or anger with the goat kind. It is just the the ecosystem operating. So therefore, the sankalpa is also important. Again in the non-violence value, it's an ideal dharma value. We should have non-violence. However, what about the one who is defending our borders in the battlefield? Well, they have to defend our borders against the enemies. So for them, their dharma is to listen to their lieutenant. The lieutenant's dharma is to listen to their more senior, I don't know these ranks, but they have to listen ultimately to the, colonel, I don't know, senior and senior. You have to listen, that's the dharma. And Once a soldier came to me from the Vietnam War. He was a recovering person, and he said that, Shunya, I was a great soldier, and one day I was really upset with my own people for leaving me here in Vietnam. So I picked up a machine gun and I shot 22 people, children, wives and husbands, out of sheer anger. Shunya, did I create papa karma? And I said, yes. What about the 2,000 other people I killed? No. But that 22, because you wanted to indulge your rage? Yes. So it's very subtle. Science of Vedanta is not so gross as to, if you don't wear these clothes and if you don't worship this god and if you eat those foods, you will be bad and this is good. It is not like that. It's all very subtle. Because the Shastra contains universal dharma and sankalpa should be spiritual. So this is the based on, one is based on motive, the other is based on injunction. And the karmas that the Shastras promote, they are called as nihita karma, like they say, sure, give alms, give donation. It is written in Charak Samhita, dana, give donations, give charity. This is all mentioned in our Shastra, that you can have positive karma this way. And the varjit karma is what you cannot do. For example, if I may say so, incest or violating someone. These are all papa karmas. Okay. For the wife and the husband to consume the marriage is a required positive karma by the Shastra. But for illegal relationships, it becomes a papa karma. And this is not about, closed society, open society. We have all now had enough psychotherapy and enough psychoanalysis to know that only transparent relationships thrive. Relationships that are formed based on deception and breaking of hearts and breaking of norms bring a lot of pain and drama into the relationship. Do we agree? Shastra doesn't say, do not remarry. Shastra doesn't say, widow cannot be remarried. No, everything is open. But, for example, we in America also have certain dharmic codes to follow, which are universal. We don't need to study Sanskrit text of dharma or Tibetan book of dharma to understand dharma. We can just calm down and stop thinking from our ego. We know the right thing to do, which is the human thing to do, and that is dharma. So the third principle is that whatever action we are doing, it is setting off merits and debits, right? Punya, positive account, papam, negative account. The third principle is that it will translate into a tangible experience of sukham and dukkham, joy and sorrow. So the joys that you are appreciating are also due to previous karma. The sorrows that you are experiencing are also due to previous karma. Clear? So these are the three principles that they will become visible. For example, you plant a seed. You can't see it for a long time, you can't see it. And then it just comes up, and one day it will give a sweet or bitter fruit. And in this ocean of Maya, in this samsara, we have to eat it. You cannot eat it for her, I cannot eat it for you. Nobody can medicate it. Even the joy we are forced to experience, sorrow we are forced to experience. This forcing business is what we call bondage or samsara. Now, It is due to this law of karma and the fact that adrishta or invisible punyam and papam is following up, and because of which the new punarjanma or a new birth is necessitated, we can now understand that the new janma, or the janma means birth, the rebirth is a necessary and appropriate requirement for the traveling jiva for the fructification of punya and papam that is invisible to become visible. Nobody can escape it and it will come to us. So the law of karma is basically necessitating repeated births and repeated deaths. Now please listen carefully that what are the advantages of knowing this knowledge? Why are you telling us this? Why does the Shastra want us to know this? There is basically a lot of disparity in the world. Do you agree? There are poor, there are unfortunate, there are suffering people, there are lonely people, there are mentally sick people, there are depraved people, even, very, very unfortunate people. And we don't understand that if God made the universe, then why did God not like them? Well, they're not our people, we were told. Our people, or we banished you, or we don't like you, or you belong here, or you don't belong there. I'm not picking on any religion. Hinduism also has its own stories. We are talking about Advaita Vedanta. Okay? Advaita Vedanta says to each their own seed, to each their own fruit. So the law of disparity of why some got more, some got less, some are still searching, it is based on law of karma. It is not just chance or somebody was just distributing things. You know, I remember we used to live in a joint family and I was not very good in mathematics, so it was a big joke because my sister was a scientific minded mathematician. So she would joke, and it was not just me, but me and my one or two more cousins. We were on the more artsy side. So my sister told me, she said, "It's not your fault. When God was distributing the skill of mathematics, you were standing with the chai chutney, colander. You know how we, and so it all fell through." And I really had this vision of queuing up, like lining up, you know, and I had the colander, you know, to pick things. And she said, "Next time, take a better vessel to God." Now, she was only a year and a half older than me, so very wise. So, yeah, that makes sense. And now I realize that actually that's not a bad idea, except that, you know, there is no other God here. It's just me, you know, and I can choose what vessel I want to hold and how I want to nurture what, and then it will have its effect, you know. So, was I able to make my point? Okay. Sometimes when I go in childhood, I get fuzzy. So, the creation is much more orderly. The creation in the Maya. There is a lot of intelligence of Brahman operating. It's a little bit aberrated as if we cannot understand the source intelligence, but we can see everything is intelligent, right? Every atom is intelligent, every cell is intelligent. So, Vata, Pitta, Kapha can be the laws of matter. Rajas, Tamas, Sattva are laws at the mental level, and the karma is the law at the spiritual level. Shastra says, knowledge shall set you free. Understand the law. If you are a little mouse running around in the maze, then understand the maze. And don't run the same paths. Now understand the law of karma. Karma brings you to this satsanga to understand it. Karma keeps you awake to understand the law of karma. I'm a totally jet-lagged student here, God bless. Every day the creation is governed by laws. Do you agree? So also our spiritual existence is governed by laws. just makes sense. So when I am not able to accept my problems, often we say things like, oh, why me? I am the only one who has this problem. Do you agree? How many of you have said that? Only me theory. Only me. I am the only one suffering. I seem to be the one who has this problem. Well, then now with the law of karma, we need to stop right there and say, I'm the only one, and guess who? There is no alien force responsible here. It is me. I will stop complaining now. I have to see why I have reached this dead end, this alley, this position, and this opportunity. So this blame game will go away, this victim feeling. People who understand the Shastra and they understand the law of karma, they even if anything happens to them, they understand that if somebody has spilled something on them, it's obvious that the other person spilled the glass of water. So they might be the instrumental cause of it, but I am the cause of it. So I can therefore take responsibility for my future, because I am realizing that the actions I am doing may give me some immediate good or bad results, but for sure they are accumulating, and it is literally called karma megha. This cloud is a new technology that you all know about. We actually have a karma cloud mentioned in Kathopanishad. Karma megha, a cloud. But don't think of it as a cloud. Don't act like I used to as a child. Baba talked about karma megha, I thought of a cloud. So it was very simple. My thinking was very simple. Great time to do, I had many years now to think about what that cloud is like. You know how cloud is moist? It has moistened me. My whole being is from that cloud. How I act, how I behave, how I think, and where I was born in this family. What I am doing with you. This is all due to past seeds. Now that I understand it, I can be very careful in my 24-hour cycle. In the dreams I don't have that much control, but in the empirical world, in the Vyavharika reality, I have more control on my speech, thought and action. So I can therefore change my future. So in fact, instead of making one fatalistic because there is chance and God loves me or doesn't love me and makes me run around trying to please gods and go for pilgrimages, we do go to please gods and we go to pilgrimages, but we go there to encounter that glory rather than to save our pathetic self, because we know that the saving or the car keys are with us. They have not been outsourced to some desk in heaven where somebody is not checking emails and responding to our texts. In fact, that person says, yes, I'll give you the knowledge, jnana. I'll give you the knowledge so that you can, if you don't like your lot, change it. Don't believe in yourself that you are small. That's just the karma that has brought you so far. You are the product of your karma so far. But in this moment you are free to act and therefore change your entire paradigm. Entire paradigm. So it actually opposes fatalism and encourages free will. Since I have really done mananam on this law and I try to work upon it, every seed I plant may or may not have very comfortable, visible results right now. And many of my students know that. I might create a lot of discomfort for myself in the immediate tense. But what I'm doing is I'm very smart. I'm planting very, very, very good seeds. You follow? Seeds of my personality, of what I believe in, what I think in, I'm free to act. Lot of pressure, I'm free to act. Lot of old habits, I'm free to act. Everybody expects something from me, I am free to act. But all I have experienced is my limitation. I am free to experience my unlimited self. I am free to act. Nobody can take away that right from us. Nobody. Nobody. And if we are under pressure, let us today in this satsang acknowledge how we have authored it, consciously or unconsciously. And if you are authoring distress, at least become conscious of it. Don't remain unconscious. Conscious authoring of distress. That consciousness is exciting. It can lead to de-authoring of distress and then authoring of freedom. So, the other importance is that it tends to bring about a very deep restoration of ethics. The word dharma, we don't know how to translate it. Dharayanti iti dharma. That which sustains everything. So ethics alone cannot do it. I can't explain. But dharma rakshati rakshataha. When we live according to dharma, dharma respects us. Dharma protects us. Somebody was mentioning to me, then so and so was saying that Shunya said so and so, but that is not correct, and this is right, and that is not right. So some students were talking. I said, I don't even want to spend 5 minutes on this energy. Because I know what I said, and I know what I don't say. Now, reality is with me. I am authoring my karma. And you know what? When you have not done anything, nothing can spook you because you are following dharma. Why did Jesus Christ not boo, cry and get scared? He didn't. Because he was established in dharma. And who won? Dharma. Who won? Dharma won. So, this is a deep foundation of dharma where we are being told that look here, if this person has looted a bank and they seem to be enjoying some Pepsi Cola and a big swimming pool and lots of, what do you say, babes, right, babes in the pool, right? Don't look at them and say, I should rob a bank. Understand that this person is enjoying this setup, this sukha, due to a previous tree planted in some other lifetime, perhaps. Or some good deed done in childhood. Or the split personality, this what do you say, looter, dacoit, what do you say, what are your words? Huh? For people who rob banks, robber? Thief. This thief may have another side of their personality, which they keep hidden, right? Like Robin Hood kind of person, right? So there are two accounts. There are two accounts. And we are free to act with either. And so don't think, thieves can get away with, Pepsi, chilled Pepsi in a pool with babes, so I can do it too. No. Dharma is dharma. The ethics is the right thing to do no matter what, because if that person seems to be having a great time right now outside the law, the clutches of law, it doesn't matter. The cosmic law in this universe will catch up. So people who understand the law of karma really get internally vigilant to their thoughts, speech and action. And they need not be a supervision. an external supervision of that society and its individuals. So it's a truly ethical society. But our problem begins because what happens is that the punya and the papam, the goodness and the badness, the adishtam, the invisible part of it, some of it comes back in this lifetime itself. For example, and I will give you a really light example, but it's really real. I love it when people make chai for me. And I had some friends, but I didn't live with a lot of people. So then, in the beginning classes, I made chai for them. And now I have unending cups of chai made for me. Now that is my drishtam, visible, positive fruits. Simple. But in this teaching of how to make chai, how to study shastra, how to do this, how to do that, it's positive or negative, some invisible has also emerged. It is being created every moment. So there are types of karma. Now you need to understand. The karma that we are accumulating, it is known as sanchita karma. Sanchita means accumulated karma. Sanchita karma, there is a sanchaya or an accumulation, just like sanchaya of doshas, you have a sanchaya of karma going on in the cloud. It is known as sanchita karma. Okay? So whatever you are doing, some of it is coming back immediately and some of it is going and joining the sanchita karma. Then what is about to come back, what is the, in that sanchit karma, when we take a life, when I was born, I'll give my example, when I was born, I am a jiva, I am traveling. When I was about to take this birth, as yours truly, when I was about to take this birth, my sanchit karma activated certain amount of karma to decide which mother, human mother, goat mother, roach mother, mouse mother, plant mother, which means which species, which loka, what will be my bhoga, dukkha, sukha, how much will I experience. So the activated karma from the accumulated is called prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma. This prarabdha decided I will be born to my father Tataji, whose birthday it is today, and to my mother, to Daya Prakash and Pratibha. These two Jivatmas, Shunya, will be born as the second daughter on such and such date, with such and such body, with such and such yoni, male or female, with this kind of basic milestones of my bhoga, dukkha, sukha. Mother died young. Mother was very nice, sukha. My mother died young, dukkha. Sister was very good and lovely. Sister also died when she was only 30, dukkha. So, sukha, dukkha. Lot of knowledge from my family. Very nice, very noble, wise, intellectual, scholarly, giving people, okay, sukha. Having to live alone and figure out what to do in the Western world and teach the real stuff, some dukkha, some sukha, right? So it's all prarabdha. From my accumulated, what family, what physical body, what kind of nose, what kind of doshas, what kind of basic constitution, what kind of dhatus are, all this is coming from your prarabdha, which is coming from your accumulated lot, not just in the last birth, but when did the first birth start? None of you asked me. You want to ask? In the magic show, you want to ask when the first birth started? It is anadi. Only if there was sequential spirituality we can explain to you. Samsara is cyclical. That is why we need to step away from it. It is not one day God decided, then we were made, then we started, then we were given a backpack based on whether we are this or that. No. It is based upon anadi. And so, this is prarabdha karma. Then in this prarabdha karma, I am a teacher, I am a wife, I am a mother, I have my geographical location, everything. Now I am free to act. That cannot be taken away. As I am acting, some karma is being created. So this karma is now going to be later acting upon me, coming back to me. It is known as agami karma, to be experienced. Some of it I experience now. And if I do not experience it in this lifetime, when I leave, when I drop this body, my sukshma sharira along with the remaining agami karma will go into the cloud, and everything left over from this lifetime, if I have not experienced it in this life itself, so feed me all the chai you want. Are you understanding my joke here? The remaining cups of chai, instead of forthcoming, become accumulated. And they become my lot. So my next life is what? All of that plus impressions from this life, karma, now, next life. So again, born, womb, not in our control. Because when we are in the Jivatma under Maya, we know very little. We have little bit of freedom in taking action. Hence the entire Shastra of Ayurveda is all about take the right decision. Do you agree, Dr. Sanjay? Make the right choice. Hita hitam sukham dukham, I used to say. The whole Ayurveda Shastra is about making the right choice between what is punyam, what is papam. In fact, the entire philosophy of the Vedic Shastra is about the human becoming cognizant of their limited power, which is able to toggle and impact their absolute power. We can, if we want, use our power and make actions to be eternally sick, eternally lost, eternally victims, and eternally caught up in this cycle. And if we want, we can make one choice after another, which are the choices that will take us more and more towards moksha. And that is why there are two paths, the path of prayas and shreyas. I was just teaching that to some of my students downstairs. The path of prayas leads us more and more into samsara, or the nature of being bonded, and the path of shreyas, which includes this jnana, living it, thinking it, learning it, and then living it. This is the path of shreyas. Here we meet our Guru, and here we meet our own Paramatma, the God within our own self. So, what happens is Videha Mukti is difficult because, say, a Jivana Mukta person, somebody who has fullness, Purnatvam, balance of mind, Samatvam, and Swatantrataha, very independent. And as a result, they are doing many great things. But there is a little bit of that good things will create what? Punyam or papam? Punyam. Will the punyam oblige them? Will that punyam, some of it will come back? People will put roses in their feet, right? People will thank them. People will bow to them, right? You agree? It just happens. However, people who do punyam, they get a lot of respect and love. It's just a fact. Now, after you've done that, what happens? Obliged. You cannot have all of it. Back to the cloud. Cloud grows. have another birth, elevated birth, amazing birth, but birth it is. So now the path, the law of karma and Advaita Vedanta says that if you learn this Shastra, now take the law of karma and take what you are learning from Vedanta and bring it together. If you know that you are Brahman, if you know that you are Atman, you are not Jiva, then do the good work that you need to do. Do the punya, do better things, do the right things, because papam is not an option, that is complete bondage. Punyam is better. But even these silvery threads of punyam, don't let them wrap you up like the silk worm with the silk thread. Don't let them do that. Act through karma yoga or act in such a way that you, God, is serving God for God without attachment. Without any sense of privilege and ownership. Completely surrender your life to knowledge and dharma. And you will find that you are able to take actions like do the good things in life, teach people, uplift them, serve them. But if you, the Jivatma in the process, gets attached to it, you are creating, if nothing else, the positive karma. It is better to constantly destroy your individual ego, and even when you are tending to your baby, you are able to step back as a sakshi or a witness to say, wow, look what I am doing in this experience. And do your best, do a good dharma, whether you are a babysitter, whether you are mother, whether you are grandmother, whether you are neighbor or sister. Do your best, but do not get lost in the baby. Do not get love, but do not get lost in the lover. Do charity, but don't lose your identity of Atman and reduce it to I'm a great charitable person. Do not collapse Brahman into merely I build temples, Do not. Once we are told, do not be small, and then we are told, do not be big. Just be. And as we, through the science and art and teachings of Vedanta, learn to be, now karma cannot affect us. And then the warrior can kill, the butcher can chop, the king can rule, the doctor can heal, the husband can have a household, the wife can grow the children and take care of the domestic pets and animals and the community. But who is doing all this? I, Atman, which is not limited by any of this, or qualified by any of this, uplifted by any of this, or rejected by any of this. I, who have woken up in the sea of Maya all around me, where everybody is trying to grab pieces of this Maya ocean to make their own, I am beginning to see that by the act of seeing, the ocean dries up, and then all there is me. So the path to full freedom, when this occurs in the living bodies, the living body may still not just disappear. Why? Because it is a product of prarabdha karma. And prarabdha karma is like an arrow. Once it has been shot, it cannot come back. So just like once my Atman descended in this body, there is no return button. Until the law, we cannot break the law. Whatever is that exact date and time in this Maya universe, because there is no day and time as such. But whatever in that consciousness is that wave, when that comes, this body shall drop. And this I, pure consciousness, shall begin another experience. And just like when the dream ends, one dream ends, there is a brief waking up or a brief daze, and then another dream begins. So the only way is that when there is that brief waking up, when the opportunity brings forth a human body with the ability to question, human body mind, so the medium, the medium of consciousness. Plant and animal has a beautiful consciousness, but it is the kind of body and mind, if we happen to go to a plant and animal body, we do not get to, it has a plant and animal body due to prarabdha karma, activated karma, a certain dog body, cat body, plant body, but no ability to create agami karma or future karma. So it's only like a expiration of the karma. Human body mind is a slightly sensitive issue here, because here we are not only exhausting karma by being who we are and experiencing what we are experiencing, but we are also creating another stock. And so being able to wake up at this time and really recognize the reality of our true self more and more, and to be on the journey in a determined manner is the best hope we can have. So that when we pass from this body based experience into another womb and experience, even in the in-between stage and the transition phase, we are aware of what is happening and we are more and more cognizant. It is the more awake we are in a nightmare, the sooner it ends and the sooner we realize I am only dreaming. It is not a reality. It is a reality so long as it lasts, just like in the water. I am thirsty and I go and drink dream tap water. And I couldn't find it, there was no water in the tap. When I opened the tap, it had blood. This feels like bad luck. Then I go somewhere else and I find something else and I get really scared. And then when I wake up, it's fine. I had just fallen asleep and my pina colada is next to me. And if you're Ayurvedic, then my takram is next to me. And you have your own little life. But once we have knowledge, we not only become more and more free, calm and full in this living life, but then we even find a way to live and act in such a way that our next lives are, number one, better, and number two, optional. So with that I end.